Hi, I'm Ed, and welcome to Minisodes. The chapter calls, and it's time to pull out this hefty box of Space Marines. I've slowly expanded the core of the original 20 Marines that came with the 2nd edition box game, adding Devastators, a Land Speeder, a Rhino, a Dreadnought, Terminators, various characters, and my recently restored Predator tank. Some of you might be aware that I've built the whole of Tycho's 3rd company in epic scale. I actually did a video on this, and a sizable contingent of that force are Assault Marines. So in this video, I am going to build and paint this iconic unit for my 2nd edition Blood Angels. A big shout out and thank you to Medic from the Patreon Discord, who very kindly reached out and sent me these lovely miniatures all the way over from the US. Now, whilst I get busy and put these guys together, I want to welcome this month's Patreon subscribers. Lane Daughtry, Philip_MK, RC Photo, Hunter Watts, Zedron, Pandula Hat, Carter Lance, Hayden L, and Katie. I wanted to kit the squad out with 3 plasma pistols, whilst the sergeant is wielding a power fist. It's easy to get carried away with war gear in 2nd edition, but I feel this is a good, specialised option for a squad which is going to jump into the thick of things and cause some mayhem in lots of close-range firefights. At some point, I'll build the other 5, and they can take on a different role, perhaps packing hand flamers to decimate light infantry or swarms. Anyway, I added some PVA to the bases and gave them all a dip in my ever-decreasing basing mix. Then added a few drops of isopropyl and PVA solution to seal the grit and sand nicely in place. Now that I've glued them together, I decided to change one of them into an open pose, just for a bit more variety. Whilst I waited for that to dry, I opened up the Angels of Death Codex to get some ideas on where to go with their scheme. The whole squad would need yellow helmets to mark them out as Assault Marines, along with the squad and company markings. I really like the yellow plasma pistols and the yellow accents on their jump packs. I also found this gnarly bit of short fiction that you heard a bit of at the beginning there, where a squad of Assault Marines bail out some beleaguered Mordians. After lunch, I stuck these massively top-heavy Marines onto a cardboard sheet with some blue tack, and blasted them with some Wraithbone spray. Time for the terribly exciting blocking in phase. Using Black Legion, I painted the chainswords, pauldron trim, buckles, vents, and armor joints. I'm pretty resistant to sub-assemblies, but I could tell this was going to be a real pain with their jump pack still attached, so I removed them before moving on to the next step. I painted the red armor sections Mephiston red, painted their grenades Caliban green, along with their eye lenses. Their leather pouches got a coat of XV88. With that done, I touched up all the Wraithbone areas that I'd accidentally got paint onto. This is all in readiness for the yellow phase. With the Marines all nicely tidied up, I added Iandan yellow contrast paint. Here you can see me painting the helmets, the Aquila bit on the breastplate that's poking through underneath their straps, and their right knee pads. I added several glazes of Flashgitz yellow to the helmet and other yellow areas, focusing on where the light would catch. For the plasma pistol, this was all around the business end. After a few glazes, I mixed in a small amount of Screaming Skull and added that to the edges. I think they look rather striking, and I'm really pleased with the vibrancy of that yellow. Very assaulty. Using snakebite leather, I painted over the XV88 sections, and the inner sections of the chest Aquilas. I pin-washed all the recesses of the armor sections Agrax Earthshade before moving on to the next highlight of Evil Sun's Scarlet. I'm really not feeling edge highlighting at the moment and just prefer instead to paint with volume and hitting the areas of the armor that would catch the light. So I added a 50-50 mix of Evil Sun's Scarlet and Fire Dragon Bright in a tighter, sharper fashion. I took the same approach with the black armor sections, using a thin down coat of Dark Reaper. For the parchment, I used Skeleton Horde and Warp Lightning on the plasma coils of their pistols. The wax of the Purity Seals was painted Corn Red. And then I used Lead Belcher to sparingly pick out some metallic areas on each model. I returned to the leather and feathered on some more XV88 to make the material look scuffed and worn. I added a mid-tone of Warpstone Glow to the Marines' lenses. Then I added a dot of white to the far corner of their eye lens. With the white still on my palette, I painted the top of the rocks and the ground clutter on their bases. This will help lift them a little before I add the wash. I painted the Sergeant's helmet decoration with Apothecary White, then highlighted it up with White Scar. The Marines themselves were shaping up rather nicely, but I needed to paint their jump packs. I did this basically following the same scheme. I finished these guys off with some transfers using Microset and Microsol. I made sure that their right shoulder pad had the white blood drop for the third company, very important, and a yellow chapter symbol for the sergeant's pauldron. After these were applied and dry, I added art coat, followed by Vallejo matte varnish. I reunited the squad with their jump packs, then painted a thin down wash of Drakenhof Nightshade to match the rest of my Blood Angel troops. To finish, I painted the rims of their bases Vallejo Model Black. The combat squad of Assault Marines was ready to join Erasmus Tycho's strike force. It's time for me to shift my attention to painting some terrain for Epic Space Marine, all in preparation for the Battle for Acheron Hive, the fourth part in my custom Armageddon campaign. Thanks for watching, and a massive thank you to my Patreon supporters. I wouldn't be able to do this without your help. And thank you again to Medic for the gift of your Assault Marines. You're a legend, and they were a lot of fun to paint. Hopefully they can do the business on the tabletop. If you enjoyed this video and want to support what I do, please join the Minisodes Patreon. There's a monthly podcast and access to the Minisodes Discord, where exciting things there are certainly afoot. You'll also find a passionate, talented, and generous group of hobbyists with a fondness for the Warhammers of yesteryear. I hope you're all keeping well. Thanks for watching, and happy hobbying.